Hey guys, long time no see. I'm Joe Cassidy, and I decided to reconnect with my YouTube account. So, I wanted to talk about a couple of upcoming movies, something I'm actually looking forward to rather than dreading, because we haven't had a good turnout this last summer. And it's been that way for a couple of years when it comes to summer movies. I mean, yeah, you have your release of the Avengers, or even before summer. You've had your release of the Avengers, and you've had your own, your own top 10 list about what came out this summer. But, I mean, Prometheus didn't help my appreciation of what came out this past year, or this past season. However, there's been some good, though. I just recently saw Paranorman in theaters, or my one-time shot locally, and I've gotta say, I was gonna make a video about this, but I ended up not doing it because there's so many good things I can say about it without revealing anything, and it wouldn't be entertaining. So I will say this, though. Paranorman is something that you guys should probably go out of your way to see. If you guys want to see a new branch of animation working its way up the evolutionary scale, if you guys want to see something that doesn't treat you like an idiot when it comes to family films, then go see Paranorman. It's something that will definitely turn the tables on you. Now, what I'm looking forward to are two CG films based off the children's stories written by William Joyce, and that is Epic and Rise of the Guardians. Strike that, reverse it. You know, Rise of the Guardians will be released at the end of 2012 and Epic in 2013. But I don't say this a lot because I'm not very excited about CG films, but by watching these trailers, I think I have something to look forward to in the coming end of the year and following year. So I'm gonna break down what I really liked about these trailers and what I'm looking forward to in both of these movies. The first movie I'm gonna talk about is Epic, only because I saw the trailer first. Now, this movie goes by another name, The Leaf Men and the Brave Good Bugs. I mean, it's not a title that really, rolls off the tongue. I mean, you can't really fit something that long. I don't know. I mean, I'd understand just a simple change of the title to sort of, like, abbreviate it, get it something small that people would know by. And they were planning on calling this movie just Leaf Men. But they decided to go with Epic. Now, I'm pretty much nitpicking here when I say that, to use the word epic for a movie title like this, I don't know, it kind of feels like it's building itself up for possible regret. I mean, to call a movie epic has to have something inside it really worthwhile. I mean, you're using the word epic that was tired out in the early 2010s, and, are you really going to be watching a movie called Epic that really wasn't so epic as it was supposed to seem? However, I will tell you guys that this movie, from the trailer alone, looks amazing. I was so entranced by our progress in computer work right now. I mean, I was already pretty astonished by by the detail in Brave, but here in this movie, everything just really catches my eye when it comes to just color, detail, and the way everything flows in design in this movie, in animation of this movie. Like, I guess to bottom line, this movie looks fantastic. If you go to see this, you're probably going to be blown away by the detail like me. You're definitely not going to be bored by this kind of computer work. And that sort of leads into my next topic, is that with so much attention to detail here, I can see why they need to give that emphasis, because I'm really interested in the kind of fantasy world that they are going to unfold here. I could tell from, like, the flower and plant people, rising up, and the detail of, I guess, a few of the characters, even the costume detail of the Leaf Men. I could really get that they were going for this, leaf, sort of, if you can catch this, sort of this kind of Japanese armor and weapon kind of thing. Only because from in the trailer, you have, like, I don't know if he was one of the leaders. He's sort of brandishing a sword on the left side and a hand on the hilt, and I just thought, like, kind of samurai. That's me probably being a dork, but it actually looks very unique. It actually feels like it's not brandishing like a, oh, well, we obviously got the detail from this and we're just gonna borrow it for our film. No, I mean, it actually looks like it works on its own for this. And I'm really looking forward to what kind of world we're gonna be in for here. And if something goes wrong, or if we don't get that much attention to it, it might really hamper the, what kind of feel this movie could have. I believe that if you build up this world just right, it will be memorable. But that might be me asking too much, and that might be me putting my expectations too high. So there are a couple of things I fear about this movie, though, and that's obviously Fern Gully. Because now you have a character who, in the trailer, you have this like young adult student girl, woman, thrown into this miniature fantasy setting, and they have to stop an evil that will destroy the kingdom and the world that they live in. And I'm not saying that, you know, it's totally copying Fern Gully, because no, Fern Gully was kind of strong on its environmentalism. But no, this seems more of a microcosm kind of thing, rather than the outside influences of humanity sort of barging in on their territory. No, it actually might do this better. It might actually be a better version of Fern Gully. You know, it might actually not be so blunt as to say, you know, that men are evil and that the little people know best. Because there's this whole conflict going on in this other kingdom now. So, just that parallel, though, of bringing in a modern influence here, I mean, sure, that might be just, you know, something that happens with escapism. You want someone ordinary to relate with and just sort of experience with you the majesty of it all. If they do that well, then that'll work for it. I mean, we've got to have an ordinary character, you know, feel the fantasy. But I only fear that a lot of people will be turned off by this because, oh, it's like Fern Gully. And I can't say that it will be because I haven't seen anything more than a trailer, but I'm gonna give it more credit than that. If it is gonna be like Fern Gully, I hope it does it better, because there's copying of a movie and then there's, you know, following a plan, you know, a plan previously used and doing it better. Alright, lastly, and this is what really makes me worry about this movie, it really puts this whole, like, this movie's success is gonna be half-half, or it's pretty much gonna come out average, and it has to be the comic relief and just, I guess, for me, being a nitpick, couple of the voice casting choices. But, as far as CG movies go, especially, you know, one that is, you know, the makers of Ice Age, comic relief is probably going to not work for this movie. I can definitely say that. Because the problem with comic relief in a movie like this is that it might just bring in too many modern influences to really sort of draw us out of our immersion with the kind of feel, theme, and world that it's trying to build up for us. But comic relief is basically there for the kids. Like, I can really feel that they're going to use these, you know, I guess, like, dude slugs to appeal more to children. And, like, you don't have to do that, though. Like, I've seen it done so much better in Paranorman, how comedy can be applied to both adults and kids, both separately and together. But these fucking just slugs, or characters that are in halfway cute, in halfway stupid, just more so annoying. And that's how I'm personally going to take this. This is where the movie is going to either, you know, give me something really well to work with in fantasy, or just sort of slump itself with the rest of fantasy movies with wisecracking characters. And as far as, like, voice casting choices go, now we have in this movie Beyonce, which is okay. No harm, or like nothing against Beyonce. I mean, she is one hot and hot-voiced mamma jamma. But, we have Pitbull in this movie. Pitbull. Not a favorite of mine. And I don't know how well he does at voice acting. In fact, I don't even know if I'm going to be able to tell the guy. But it's just such a turnoff to know that Pitbull is in a family movie. So, just, God, that turns me off so bad. But, other than that, this movie has my interest. It definitely has that. Despite just fucking Pitbull in this movie. In a movie like this, that I know there's such thing as star power. I'm not stupid. But fucking Pitbull in an epic fantasy movie. For some reason, like, flashbacks of Dungeons and Dragons comes to mind.